Right now, 4 astronauts are flying at over 4,000 miles an hour, hurtling through the vacuum of space. But inside the cabin, the reality of the farthest human journey in half a century is looking remarkably familiar. About 13 hours into the flight, Commander Reed Wiseman radios Houston with a status update. His report is deadpan. "I have 2 Microsoft Outlooks, and neither one of those are working." The crew's Surface Pro laptops are running standard commercial software, and the Windows Mail app is clashing with Office 365. To fix it, Houston remotes in to the spacecraft's onboard network from the ground to troubleshoot the conflict. This interstellar IT support call illustrates the reality of modern spaceflight. Even as these astronauts push tens of thousands of miles away from the planet, they are still bound to Earth by a highly restricted digital leash. That dependency extends far beyond just software. Shortly after launch, a critical hardware failure threatens the crew's basic hygiene. The Orion capsule's $30 million toilet breaks. A urine vent line exposed to the vacuum of space has frozen solid. Mission specialist Christina Koch assumes the role of orbital plumber. While she runs diagnostics with ground teams, the crew is forced to rely on collapsible contingency urinals inside the cramped cabin. The fix requires a maneuver known as a bakeout. Engineers instruct the crew to physically reorient the entire spacecraft, rotating the frozen external nozzle towards the sun. Executing this safely relies on continuous telemetry from engineers in Houston. The bakeout clears the ice, but it demonstrates a fundamental part of the mission. Out here, the crew often acts as remote hands for ground control, still tethered to the noise of Earth. By day 5, the scope of the mission shifts. The capsule window, once filled with the glow of home, is consumed by the cratered gray expanse of the moon. As they close the distance, a crackling transmission arrives from Apollo 13 commander Jim Lovell. The legendary explorer welcomes the Artemis crew to his old neighborhood, bridging the 50-year gap between the Apollo legacy and the present. This map illustrates the threshold the crew is crossing. On April 6th, Orion pushes past the 248,655-mile mark, surpassing Apollo 13's distance record. The free return trajectory slingshots them over 252,000 miles from Earth, pulling them toward the lunar far side. Passing that specific boundary signifies a clean break. Artemis II stops echoing the records of the 1970s and sets a new high watermark for how far humans have traveled. This view illustrates the mechanics of the mission's quietest phase. As Orion dips 4,000 miles above the lunar far side, the physical mass of the moon entirely blocks the radio signals from NASA's Deep Space Network. The constant stream of telemetry, the IT support, and the chatter from Houston instantly cuts to static. For the next 40 minutes, the crew is alone. No one on Earth can troubleshoot their software or guide their maneuvers. But inside this shadow, they witness a cosmic rarity. From their vantage point behind the moon, the lunar sphere perfectly blocks out the sun. Floating in the darkened cabin, the crew uses handheld cameras to document the eclipse. The black void outside their window is pierced only by the glowing ring of the solar corona. This brief window of radio silence strips away the noisy tethers of the mission. In the quiet, the crew is left to document the light of the corona, capturing a perspective that requires, for at least 40 minutes, cutting the cord to home. Eventually, the spacecraft emerges from the lunar shadow, restoring its line of sight to the Deep Space Network. The radio crackles back to life, reconnecting the capsule to mission control's voices and the constant flow of ground telemetry. The terrestrial tether has returned, but as the crew looks out the capsule window, their attention remains fixed on a different world. Rising over the desolate lunar horizon is a blue and white crescent. It is Earth, suspended alone against the blackness of space. Looking at that fragile marble, pilot Victor Glover radios a thought back down the reinstated comms link. He notes that, standing out here, you realize humanity is special in all of this emptiness. This is why humanity endures the mundane glitches and the isolation of deep space, to reach the one point in the universe where we can turn around and see the oasis of Earth.